tell me, because I want to make sure that if I'm going to write something and you're telling me I have to put it on my website, somebody has to read it. Sorry, I can't come into school today. Actually, it's on a kettlebell. Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday. I am on the second day of my program. I say the second day. I didn't do the first day, but on the program this is the second day. But I am here in the gym, and first of all, I just want to say a big welcome to all my new subscribers, one in particular who figured out where the notification bell is. But I'm going to start by saying, if you have been watching for a while, and there are a few of you, and you've not yet subscribed, and there are a few of you, please locate, there's a little bell icon which I'll put on the screen, and you have to press on that to be notified of when my videos go live. I just wanted to make sure that those who aren't subscribed, that really want to subscribe because you really want to stay up to date on the latest education news and on my training, that you are able to do so. So please just pause for a minute, find the bell, click on it, find the subscribe. I think you have to subscribe first and then click the bell, and then you'll be notified of when. Sorry, there's a spider on the ceiling. And I'm not scared of spiders, but I'm going to turn the camera around. So if you're squeamish, this is where you need to just maybe skip forward maybe about 5 seconds. Okay, hold on. So those of you who are a bit squeamish have been spared, but if it comes back, I'll let you know. But anyway, yeah, thank you. You have joined me at the beginning of my warm-up, and anyone who's been with me from the beginning on these videos knows that there cannot be a session that goes by where I don't forget something. And it's not intentional. It really isn't intentional. Hello, it's me. And you may be thinking, hang on, 1 minute she was in a gym gear, then she was wearing something called Unique. That doesn't make sense. Well, true to form, this video didn't quite go the way that it was meant to, because there's a clip that links to the next one that got totally, I don't know, deleted. Maybe I thought I pressed record and I didn't press record, but I got clearly so carried away by that spider that I lost the link. So essentially this next clip you're going to see is an introduction to me talking about this new PE and sports network. And I'd started off by saying, this is what came out during this half term, an announcement that PE and sports premium wasn't going to be anymore, and that we're moving over in spring 2027 to this new sport and PE and sport network. And this is me basically then continuing and saying it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Now this isn't a new thing, because back in 2023, I think, you know, when they started doing all these curriculum reviews, and Ofsted did the curriculum review on PE, and they started looking at it then, and then last year when Labour got in, I think she's the school sports minister or some job title like that, she kind of said, yeah, we're going to do a review of it all, and we're probably not going to have the PE, or basically we're not going to have the PE and sports premium. This will be the last financial year, or next year will be the last financial year that schools will have it. So it wasn't a surprise, but it was still one of those things like, okay, so what next? So, you know, we're setting our budgets for the new financial year last year, thinking, okay, is this going to be the last year? Is there going to be something in its place? Because, you know, they just like to reinvent things, and nothing came out last year. And it's really annoying when the government do that. And one of the reasons it's so annoying is because it doesn't really help schools to manage their budgets. We're being told, oh, you need to make sure that you've got a balanced budget, but we're not being given the opportunity to balance that budget because the money's not coming in on time, which is just really annoying. So we are just left guessing. And so last year, we kind of knew that this year would be the last year of sports premium, but we didn't get anything at the start of the financial year. We got something just before half term. Or sorry, no, not just before half term, during the half term holiday, at the start of the holiday, which is another classic government thing. They love putting things out when we're supposed to be relaxing and taking things easy. And sometimes you just want to find the person responsible saying, what's up with you? What is your problem? Why can't you just figure out that we want to enjoy our holiday without having to think about, oh no, what now? So a media release went out last week to say that their PE and sports premium is officially no longer. And this is officially the last year that we're going to get it. And from spring 2027, they're going to start rolling out this PE and sports network organisation thing. Okay, so PE Sports Premium out, PE Sport Network in. Now, sports network, you may think, oh, I've heard that term before. Yes, you have. Because back in 2011 and beyond, and before that, they had the National School Sports Partnership, the SSP, which was really good. And that was, I wasn't really in leadership when that became a thing, but it was apparently scrapped by one of the governments. You know, they love like to argue, just love to argue, don't they? But it was scrapped by the former government. But it was a really, from what I understand from colleagues, it was a really good initiative, and this is what it sounds like they're going back to. So they are going back to, there's a spider again. Okay, pause for a moment. I reckon it's camera shy. And I reckon it can hear me, you know, because every time I call its name, it just disappears. Anyway, we're going to come off. This is not David Attenborough. This is the head teacher's gym. So, the school sport partnership, the SSP, back in 2011 was apparently really good. Lots of working with outside organisations, and then the sports premium came in and they gave the money directly to schools, which was great. It was good because it meant that you could spend it how you felt the need to spend it. So in our school, for example, when I became head teacher, we used it for things like top-up swimming. We had our multi-use games area, Muga, ball court, whatever you choose to call it at your school, the place where they play football or basketball. We had that surface, which was great. We brought in an external company to do sports at lunchtime with the children, which has been absolutely fantastic. We worked with a local football, Charlton Athletic, and they came in, did coaching, football coaching. We've used it in a really effective way and it's worked for our school. And now the government are going to scrap that. And what they're replacing it with is this 1 billion, that's a lot of money, and you know they can find money when they want to, but anyway, £1 billion sports network fund. And they're going to have about 580 million that's going into schools. Some of it's going to help with, I think they've got about 1 million or so that's going to help to sort out school buildings and make them accessible and make sure that, you know, they've got all the equipment that you can have. And then they're going to be working with external organisations, which is great to an extent. But what they're trying to do is to make sure that there's this, because they're kind of saying that some children are still not getting the required 5 hours of exercise a week. Although the PE report that came out, the review that came out in 2023 said that in all the secondary schools and all the primary schools that they've been to, children were getting the 2 hours worth of PE in most schools. So that's not an issue. And it's the extra kind of hour a day that you're supposed to get. I don't know where you're supposed to get an hour a day of exercise. Now, obviously you've got the lunchtime and your playtime and walking to school, I don't know. Remember when I think when they used to do the Daily Mile? Gosh. But anyway, so that money is supposed to be going to local networks. So they're going to establish a national sports network that's then going to work with regional sports networks, which again sounds very much like the school partnership model that they had back in the day. So there are going to be lots of external organisations that schools can work with, but again, sometimes it sounds like our organisation is going to have to apply to be on that list, and how is it all going to work? Because we've got no detail. We've been told spring 2027. Obviously, we're still in, June 2026. So we've got, a fair amount of time. But the government don't work particularly well when it comes to dates. But I'm guessing they're trying to do it with a new financial year. So by next financial year, basically April the 1st, it better be. Well, before that, to be fair, by the end of the autumn term, we should know, hopefully, how much money schools are getting. Because the other thing that they're going to put is £100 million aside for primary schools for the transition. Now, again, no detail about what they mean by transition between the two fundings. So is it that we're supposed to then balance, try to move money around in our budget to try to make sure that we've got enough to continue to do the things that we're doing? I don't understand, and I don't think anybody else really understands, because yes, you've got the information there that they've sent out. It's just a media release. There's no detail in it. There's no spreadsheets that say this is how much your school is getting. There's a lump sum. 100 million for every single primary school in the country, apparently. So when you think about when that breaks down, it's not going to be a lot of money, and I'm guessing it's going to be based on pupil numbers. So it should be comparable, I would hope, to what we're getting now. But it's this extra bit. It's this, how are we going to be working with the external networks that they're going to establish? And are they going to be things that are going to work for our school and our location? Because you've got individuals, so on this media release, they had these statements from all these kind of big sporting organisations like the Lawn Tennis Association and the Rugby Football Union, the English Cricket Board, which is great, but we're nowhere near in a position to be able to play lawn tennis, and we're nowhere near able to play rugby football. And it's like recognising that, yeah, it's great to have these opportunities, or say these opportunities available, but you've got to think context. You've got to be able to think context. Where my school is located, we are nowhere near a sports field. We are limited. If you saw the size of our playground, it's not a big playground, it's not a vast amount of space. We have to make do, which we do in a fantastic way. And we cannot expand. Can't go up because we're a listed building, we can't go out because there's no space. So where they think we're going to be able to find the extra space to make our building or our sports, our facilities more accessible, I don't know. But I'm guessing that the accessibility side is possibly more towards the secondary end of education. But again, it's a frustration, it's a lack of detail. One of the people that commented was a lady by the name of Ali Oliver, and she is the CEO of the Youth Sports Organisation, and she was one of the people that was involved in the original School Sports Network. And she was like, oh, it's great that they've given this information at the start of the school holidays. No, Ali, it's not good that they've given out this detail, because they've not told us anything. They've not told us anything in terms of detail. All they've told us is that PE and Sports Premium is ending. They've told us it's ending. They've told us there's a PE and Sport network that's going to be implemented, but we don't have any details. And that's the problem with the government sometimes, is they put these media statements out there, they tell us that there's a £1 billion that are going to be revolutionise what's happening in schools, but they don't give schools the detail. They don't tell us, okay, this is what it will look like for your school from a bank balance point of view. They don't tell us what it looks like for your school from a day-to-day operational perspective. Because if they're going to say to us, okay, yeah, we're going to give you some money, you've got to have a sports coach, okay, that's great, but then that's not upskilling the staff. They're paying to have training, online training. PE and sports cannot be done online, okay? And this is the thing, it's like, okay, lots of online stuff. PE is a physical lesson, and you need to be able to be there in the thick of it to see and to understand technique. And so to do that, you need to have training in person, not online. It's all very well seeing somebody saying, next you need to stand with your racket in this way, with your feet this way, and then swing back. I don't know what sport that would be for, but do you get my meaning? We had a fantastic training session courtesy of the Quick Cricket, an organisation called Quick Cricket. And we had a staff PDM where, with support staff, teachers, we had an hour or so of being taught how to play quick cricket correctly. We got taught how to hold the cricket bat, we got told how to hold and how to bowl, yeah, like that, okay, really good, and it was fantastic. And the coach was really good in terms of making sure that he tweaked our technique, and then it was year 4 that we're doing PE, but then the teacher was able to then transfer that into her lesson. The same way a few years ago we had training on how to use the apparatus. All primary schools, old school primary schools, have got apparatus that they use for PE and for gymnastics, and we got training on that in person. You can't do online training for PE. So where they're saying, yeah, you're going to get all this training, and this is going to be where else the money's going to go to. So that means also that they're going to be paying somebody, possibly Oak Academy, paying somebody to create a whole training scheme for teachers on PE. I look forward to seeing what that looks like. I'm happy to be a guinea pig and try it out, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I am happy to be corrected, to reserve judgment, but as it currently stands, all I'm asking for is more detail. All I want to know is what does our budget look like for next, because I need to know whether I'm still going to be in deficit budget, or even more so, because you've taken away such a large amount of money, a crucial amount of money, because if you take that amount of money away from me, am I not going to be able to have my lunchtime coaches anymore from this organisation that does lunchtime games and has got our kids more active than they've ever been. We've had them in our school for about the past 5 or 6 years and it's been brilliant. But are you saying to me that we're not going to have them anymore? Are you saying to me that we're not going to be able to have the after-school clubs? Or are you saying that that's something you'll pay for? Because again, it's this detail. It's like, yes, after-school clubs, lunchtime clubs, but what does it look like in principle? Don't just give us the overall, give us the detail. Give it all in one. Give it all in one. Because you cause stress. You cause stress, you cause anxiety, you cause worry, you cause kind of all this scratching around of heads because we don't know what it looks like and we can't plan ahead. And then you've got all these other organisations that rely on the funding that come from schools who also can't plan ahead because they also don't know what it looks like. So government, DFE, Bridget, Mrs. Phillipson, Miss Phillipson, please don't drip feed information. Give it to us in totality. You knew from last year that this was going to happen. You knew this PE and Sports Premium was going to go. So why just got a whole plan together, give it to us in the full package so that we have all the information. That's all we ask for. If you agree, if you think I'm talking rubbish, please leave a comment. Not many people leave comments. I love the fact that you give me a thumbs up. That's great. But leave a comment as well. What are your thoughts on this new funding going back to, if you were in education when they had the schools partnership network, was it good? Did you find that you benefited from it? Did you like having the sports premium or would you prefer not to? I mean, one thing that I'll be happy about is not having to do the sports premium report at the end of July because I just think that's a total waste of money if you're asking me. I mean, total waste of time if you ask me because as with most things that go on your website, that are statutory, that have to go on your website, who is reading them? That's what I want to know. Who is responsible in the DFE for going onto the websites of every single school? Which department is responsible for reading the Pupil Premium Report? Which department is responsible for reading the Sports Premium Report? Tell me. Because I want to make sure that if I'm going to write something and you're telling me I have to put it on my website, somebody has to read it. Yeah? Somebody has to be reading. So I just want to know, if you know somebody whose job it is to read those reports, drop a comment. You don't have to tell me their name, but just say, yeah, I know somebody, and that will satisfy me. But I am continuing with the deadlift pauses this week, and this week we're doing 4 lots of 4 on 55 kg. I've done my first set already, so I've got 3 more sets to go, and it is worth noting, as I get into these, that I really am enjoying making these videos, because not only does it mean that I have to be really strict with my training, because I'm choosing to talk about topics related to education, it also means that I'm coming in a position to have to explain concepts to myself. You say if you can understand it, if you understand it, if you can explain it to somebody else. So it's been really good being able to see what the latest is out there, and then make these videos to kind of update those who may not have got the information yet, or just those who are maybe not as involved anymore in education as they used to, but still want to remain interested. Because I get this information a lot of the time firsthand from social media, and I also get the government blogs that come out, the government updates that come out to my email, because I'm sad like that, but that helps me to keep up to date as well. There's some things that obviously, as you know by now, have me thinking, okay, and I think are really good content for these videos. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing them. I've had a few people tell me how they've been enjoying the videos, so thank you. I appreciate that feedback. Any other feedback you've got, I'm open to feedback. I may ignore it, but I'm open to it. When it comes to feedback on my technique, I'm open to hearing, but I do have a coach, and I've had the same coach for, well, it's been this festival. I've always had a coach. So ever since I started doing Olympic weightlifting back in 2013, I think it was. and I used to go to Hackney Weightlifting Club, had fantastic coaches there, did a few competitions, coached through the competitions. When I got my home gym, I continued to have coach. Mercy Brown was my coach previously, and now it's Monica, and they are people who know their stuff. I say that to say, I'm not just in my gym doing my own thing. I am following a proper program that's been written for me based on my abilities, based on my experience, based on my age, and what I want to be able to do as well. So yeah, don't watch the videos and think, oh, I'll just give us some tips about whatever, because like I said, I've got my other camera, I film my lifts, my coach will give me feedback on my lifts, and then we go again, which is why I'm doing the pause deadlifts rather than going straight up to trying to get to the 100 kg, because she's seen in my technique, there's a little thing I know, something I need to do to tweak my technique to make sure that when I do go up to 100 kg, it is not going to hurt me. So just wanted to put that out there. I've got 2 more sets to do, and then I've got the workout, which I think it will finish me off, and it's not even going to be mine. I'll tell you about it in a bit. Today's workout is what we call an AMRAP, 10 minutes. So as many rounds as possible. 12 US kettlebell swings, 10 step-ups on, I don't have one of those step-up boxes, so I just use this, and then a 30-second bike. So I've got to do as many rounds as possible. I reckon I can get 4 in the 10 minutes. I use this app to do all my workouts. So I've got AMRAP, the time, EMOM, every minute on the minute, and then Tabata. So for AMRAP, I'm just going to click on that. Oh, it's already on 10 minutes. Then I can start my timer, and then it goes when I'm ready for it to go. The thing about workouts on a Sunday night is that you often get interrupted with sickness. People messaging in, or agencies messaging you to say, oh, this person's not going to be in today, this person's not going to be in today. So then you've got to be on to the agencies and say, I need this and I need that. So yeah, just spent the past 10 minutes sorting out cover, or hopefully cover for tomorrow. But that cannot get in the way of my 10-minute AMRAP. So this is another reason why doing exercise is so important, because when you kind of need a way to just not even de-stress but decompress, this is a great way to do it. And now I'm going to call it 11, 12, because that's why I need to concentrate and not. I'm moving more to this force of that, bash my head. I need cover for me in the morning, because I'm in year 6 all day. Look, you see? The evidence would have been there. Sorry, I can't come into school today. I tripped on a kettlebell. Don't think my deputy head will be very impressed, because she's also in class tomorrow, and I've really forgotten how many I need to do, so I need to focus on how many I've done. I'm quite at 6. I'll watch it back and probably find I've done a lot more. I'm calling that 10. Okay, if it's wrong, it's wrong. It's just between you and me, because my coach will get the video if I done it all correct. Oh, supposed to be doing 30 seconds. I've shattered already. She did say it was going to be a bit more intense today, because there were less deadlifts. Listen, I'll come back when I've done. Okay? Despite what I first thought, I managed to do 5 rounds, which I'm very pleased with. But yeah, 5 rounds and I'm done. And if you've got this far, thanks for sticking with me. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on PE and Sports Network, and whether you'd like more details as well. Please please click the notification bell so you can find out when the next video will be posted. And in the meantime, have a good first week back. 7, not that I'm counting, 7 weeks until the summer holidays, guys. 7 weeks to go. See you next time.